A lot of graduations this time of year, but likely no story quite like this one. Incredible odds, compassion from strangers, and a drive to never give up, all leading up to one Sissonville student's walk across the stage to receive his high school diploma.
Zachary Blaze Robeson.
Graduation is a time when high schoolers close the chapter of their childhoods and open a new one into adulthood. But for one grad from Sissonville High,
Jason Franklin Thomas II.
the responsibilities of becoming an adult came much, much sooner.
I didn't really have much of a childhood. I had to grow up kind of fast.
To talk to Jason Thomas,
Get every skill I can so I can give myself and my family one day a better life than I had.
you would think you're talking to someone who has already lived a lifetime of adversity and come out wiser for it. And maybe that's because in just 19 years, Jason has.
I seen everything, everything that happened, I heard it, I had to live with it.
Experiencing things most kids and even adults could never imagine.
Like most nights when it would rain, this is where I would come.
Including becoming homeless during his sophomore year. Hitting hard times in his hometown of Hinton, Jason and his mother moved to Sissonville, but before long, more tough times. They lost their home and she dropped out of the picture.
As a young kid, you'd think you'd be more scared, but I was definitely scared at times, but I knew like all I had to do is make it through the night, and in the morning I'd be fine because from 7:30 from 7:30 to 2:30, I was fine, But it wasn't until like after that, and about a couple hours after school ended, I'd have to start worrying, how am I going to get some food, if I where I'm going to stay.
For more than 3 months, the school was Jason's sanctuary during the day and where he took shelter at night. Jason would sneak into the athletic facility to sleep or camp out on this back stairwell behind the school.
I never told a soul because I didn't want at the time, I didn't want nobody to feel bad for me.
The entire time, remarkably, he continued to go to class. When asked how, the self-proclaimed jokester responded with humor.
Actually, sometimes it was easy because there's a balcony out back. I used to stay back there and just wake up right through the door and go to school sometimes, yeah.
But through Jason's smile, he was struggling. That's when he decided to reach out for help, and 2 women would change his high school experience and life. The first, his counselor, Miss Woody.
I would never blame my mom. I always loved my mom no matter what. And she will always be a good mom to me, but when I needed her, she wasn't there, but that's okay because, I don't really look at Miss Woody like my counselor. Like, Miss Woody's really like a mom to me, because she was there for me when I needed her the most. She was like the mom that I didn't have at the time, and I'll always look at her like my family, and I'll always love Miss Woody like my family because, when I didn't have anyone there, she was always there for me.
And she's still by his side every step of the way.
Love you too, Miss Woody.
Sometimes you come and you don't know the impact you have on somebody, because I know as a person the impact he's had on me, and he's changed me as a person.
After finding out that Jason was homeless, Miss Woody reached out to another student's parents, John and Meredith Taylor.
Miss Woody called me one day and said, Jason really doesn't have anywhere to go. He can go to Mountaineer Challenge Academy, but he doesn't want to go there. Maddie, my oldest daughter, says that you guys would take him. And I talked to my husband that night, and it was instantly yes, and he came the next day.
And soon, the teen they barely knew would become like one of their own.
He is my son. That's how I feel about him.
They were such a blessing because they just took me in. They didn't even know me. At the time, they didn't know me maybe a month, and they didn't they didn't care. They just said, you know, you just come stay with us for a little bit and see what we can do for you. And they say you just stay for the summer, you know, till the summer, and we'll figure out something to do. And the summer went to the end of the year, to the end of the year, till I graduate.
But graduating wasn't a given.
He came. I didn't know if he would graduate. Not to try to tell on him, but his grades were bad. They were bad, and that was one of the stipulations, you know, when you come to our home, you have to maintain the grades.
With the help of the Taylors and being able to focus on being a high schooler instead of focusing on where he would sleep at night,
Jason Franklin Thomas II.
he did it, earning his diploma and through his challenges, learning wisdom well beyond his years.
So easy for me to give up. You know, like it's just easy for one to just sit there and be like, you know, I give up, I quit. But I couldn't, because I had to take the harder route, because if I'd have taken the easy route, it wouldn't have got me nowhere. I'd still be stuck in the same situation I was at, you know, 3 years ago.
In addition to his diploma, Jason also has a certificate in HVAC and is going back to Ben Franklin Career Center for welding. He has also reconnected with his mom and just got a place for the two of them to live. Ultimately, though, he says he hopes he can pay the kindness he received forward.